Hello, happy Veterans Day. Oh, I really should be wearing red, white, and blue. Well, I've got red lipstick on and blue fingernail polish. But happy Veterans Day, you guys. I just wanted to hop on here today. Hopefully, you have seen. Sorry, hold on one second. I have a friend joining me today, Ashley Weideman. So she's asking where. And so I'm having her join because I want you guys to hear her story. But before she even hops on, I just want to say happy Veterans Day. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at my Facebook today. And if you haven't, and maybe somebody shares this message, my name is Blair Critch. And I put a post up today for people to share about any veterans that they know. Go tag somebody who's active or in the reserves or is retired and is a veteran. Go tag them in my post today and say thank you to them. One lucky winner is going to get a special gift from me to them. I'll put everybody's name in a wheel to side, pick a name, and tomorrow, or maybe on Monday, maybe I'll leave it all weekend, and we'll pick a winner and we'll send them something special as a thank you. So I am so excited. Let's see. I think Ashley's here. Yay. Approve. Send invite. Perfect. Okay. It says it's adding you, Ashley. Perfect. Looks like she's joining.
Hi.
Awesome. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Okay, can you hear me okay, Ashley?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. You're a little quiet, but this happened to me the other day when I was using this as well. So I don't know, something with my phone, I think. So, yay! So excited to see you. It looks beautiful there. So Ashley is also in Florida. She is in Central Florida. What county or what city are you in, Ashley?
I'm in Indian Lake Estates is the name of the city, but Lake Wales, super central.
Okay. And how did you guys get affected this week with the hurricane? Were you guys good?
Some wind, some rain. We're all good. Knock on wood.
I
I don't
feel
have
so
any wood
bad as
next
a
to me.
Floridian. I'm like, oh, sorry, Ashley. I feel bad as a Floridian. Like I barely check on anybody anymore because it's like, we get so many hurricanes all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So we actually lost half our pier here. It wasn't even that bad, but I guess the waves were really bad and I didn't see that. But we lost half our pier, which is kind of sad.
Oh no,
So
I'm
they'll have to
sorry.
redo that. But we were fine.
Good.
So I'm so excited to have Ashley on here today, you guys, because not only is Ashley a fellow Thriver with me, and I'm so excited for her to share her story with you guys, but she's also a veteran, and she is such an amazing person. She is skilled in so many different things, and every time I interview her or get to spend a weekend with her at one of our getaways or on one of our trips, like we do retreats, things like that. Every time I'm around her, I learn something new about her. So I love that. Ah, I knew my phone was about to drop. I could feel it. And so I always love that about you, Ashley, is like you're just like one of those people who wears many, many hats. So will you share with us before we even get like literally, right? I love it. You're so cute. So before we even get started, will you share with us a little bit? Today is Veterans Day, and I know that holds a very special place in your heart. So will you share with us a little bit about just what you did in the military and how long you were with them,
Mhm.
and also about like some of the hard things that come from that, right? Like I have a brother-in-law who is in the reserves for the Marines, and like all the like things that happened to him after physically, emotionally, and mentally is a big
Mhm.
reason why he started on Thrive with me 7 years ago. So I'm gonna throw it
Mhm.
over to you.
Yeah, so I joined the Air Force at 18, just shy of just a little over a year after 9/11, because I felt a calling to serve my country. And so I joined the Air Force in October of 2002. And then a month later, I was shipped off to basic training. So it was like a lickety split decision. Happened to pull into a recruiter's parking lot that day and just make that decision. You'll probably hear
What'd your
my kids
parents say
snoring.
about that?
They weren't happy. No,
No.
they weren't happy. I'm the only female to go into the military, and the last people were my grandparents. So my mom was not happy because she thought immediately war front. Like I'm gonna be on the like she didn't understand how it works, but I think she just didn't want to lose her baby girl.
Of
Um,
course.
but I decided I needed it for me. And so I went to basic training in Texas and then I went to another country, never been out of the country my entire life. So I spent 3 years in Germany, got married, had my first son in Germany. But immediately I learned it really hit me hard that I had a really bad energy problem.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know how bad it was And I picked up my Starbucks habit in the military. Everybody gathered around the coffee pot. Like I was so enthralled with this whole coffee thing. I would literally, if I could have put it in like an IV, I would have. Um, and I think that's huge because everything revolves around energy.
Yeah.
And I was working really weird hours, and sometimes I didn't know things would change up for training. They'd have us in full Kim gear, like for an entire week. Like that is draining, extremely draining. And the food at the chow hall wasn't always the healthiest. And you had to
Yeah.
like
That's
rush.
for.
You're eating so fast, you don't even like chew your food. You're just so starving and you just want sustenance. And so that was 8 years of that life that took a toll. Now, granted, in the military, you have to pass your physical training every year. They want physically fit people in their force, and it makes sense. If you're gonna have people defend your country, you want them to be able to physically handle things. And I just remember that, the push-ups, the crunches, I could muster myself through them, but the run was hard. A mile and a half in under 21 minutes, I think was what was my goal. Like I was pushing it. It was not fun to work out. And so you see me right now, like in workout gear. I went to the gym this morning of my own accord because I want to, but back then I had to force myself to show up, force myself to wake up, force myself to do it just 3 times a week. And I didn't receive any results from that. I didn't want to get strong because I was just so tired. I was just going through the motions. So, funny story, I'm just gonna throw this in there, but I picked the tallest guy. I said if I can outrun the tallest guy in my squadron, then I should be a fast runner, so I should be able to pass my PT test. And I tried that, ended up getting shin splints because I just pushed my body past its limits. And just recently, within this past year, I admitted to that person who it was that pushed me and he didn't know about it, and that was Cliff Roy.
Nuh-uh. That's
Yep,
hilarious.
yep.
Oh my gosh. If you guys know Cliff, you have to tag him below. That's hilarious. I love that. That's awesome, Ashley. Well, it's so interesting that you said that about coffee because I've been researching a lot about coffee lately because I have a couple customers, I won't name them out, but they are like major coffee drinkers and they were asking me why it would be better to use vitamins and supplements over for energy over coffee because there is a lot of research out there that is pro coffee, right?
Mhm.
And just like there's a lot of research out there that's pro chocolate, that's pro wine, right? And I'll tell you right now, like when I went through, a lot of you guys know me personally, I went through cancer a couple years ago. My doctor was like, don't ever drink wine again. Right. And I'm like, well, there's all this research on how red wine helps you. And, da, da, da. And he's like, yeah, guess who paid for that research? Red wine companies.
Mhm.
Guess who paid for the research on coffee? Coffee bean companies. So just be careful. But for me, when I got off of coffee, the very first thing I noticed 2 weeks after starting Thrive was I felt so much, my stomach felt better. I actually wasn't crashing anymore and I had better mental clarity and less fog. And so it's interesting. I actually just saw, I'm going to quote this little quote that I just saw yesterday. It was from caffeineinformer.com and it said research showing harmful effects of caffeine. More than 4 cups of coffee. Now I want you to think about it. A cup of coffee is not your coffee mug. That actually could be 2 cups of coffee for a lot of people because a cup of coffee is only 8 ounces. Okay. So 4 cups of coffee is linked to early death. A Mayo Clinic partnered study found that men who drank more than 8 fluid ounces of cups of coffee a day had a 21% increase in all-cause mortality. This was done in March 19th of 2021, guys. It's just a year ago. So that's really important because I do think a lot of times when you're not feeling good, especially people who are in the military, right? It's like you're dosing yourself with caffeine all the time in coffee because you just don't feel good. So you're trying to get yourself to feel better. So that was interesting that you brought that up. So how long were you in the military and when did you leave and what do you do now?
Yeah, so I fixed computers in the Air Force, and it was my first chance at leading. So I started to understand, leadership and showing up as a leader, which I thought was really cool. But I served for 8 years, and then whenever I got out, I got out being pregnant with my second son, and I went to culinary school. So I made a shift from my love of technology to my love of food, and so that was another energy industry and food industry. It's just interesting until I made my shift back to technology afterwards. So those are like two big loves of mine is food and technology.
Yeah. And Ashley mentioned Cliff, and Cliff was actually who shared the Thrive experience with Ashley. I'll never forget when he told me, like, you got to talk to this girl, Ashley. She used to be in the Air Force with me, and she's going to be amazing. And she needs the product. She has young kids at home. She's exhausted. So, walk us through how you got started on Thrive and then what it did for you. And while you're talking, if you see me jump really quick, I'm just going to grab a packet of our capsules and our lifestyle mix just so we can show people what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Actually, Cliff introduced me to Thrive in 2017, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Like he was gracious enough to share me a few days. I was like, this isn't a thing. Like I don't know like why he's recommending this, but I tried it for a couple days and I just threw it in the trash can. I laugh and I'm a little embarrassed now, but that's how closed-minded I was to even change possibility of. I'm a firm believer we have to go through our own journey, try our own things, and then come back around to things. And luckily for me, Cliff is a super patient man.
Yeah.
And so I watched him for 2.5 years on social. 2019, a post drew me in. We had a conversation. And because I had an all-day routine at that point that cost me literally hundreds of dollars, guys, a month, a month. And so I decided, why not go a month of Thrive? Why not? Why not? What's it going to hurt? It'll save me money for that month. It might actually change things. Who knows? Day 1 through 3, I took all 3 steps and I noticed my energy started to lift, but day 4 was my day. I call it my Wizard of Oz day, where my world went from black and white to color. It really felt like, I know it sounds drastic to some people, but to me, that's what it felt like. That was the day I forgot to make my coffee. And that was the big shift for me where I was like, holy heck, this works. Cliff was telling the truth the whole time.
Darn
And
that Cliff.
yeah, dang it, Cliff, you were right the whole time. But honestly, guys, I didn't care about the coffee anymore. I think when you feel good, you look good, you glow differently, you talk differently, and some of the stuff that you believe to be healthy that's really not, you kind of don't care about anymore. And I noticed that day that I was showing up happier and healthier for my kids. Even just that 4th day, I found myself wanting to like eat better and drink water and like little things that health experts tell you to do, but you don't really want to do. Um, but I was like, this is pretty cool. Like I feel this shift today. And I know not everyone's like that, but day 4 was like my day.
Sorry,
I just kind of
there's
went into
kids
it. I'm not
eating,
sure
of
if you
course,
wanted me
right
to like
behind me, and
go
I
into
can't
it.
hear it at all now.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can hear you in here. Hi, yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. Were you done talking, Ashley? Because I couldn't hear anything. I'm so bummed.
I stopped at day 4. I left it off at day 4. I don't know if you want me to continue or not.
Okay, so day 4, what did you notice?
So that was the day, that was my Wizard of Oz shift day where and I just told him this, so I'm not sure if you want me to go beyond that, but
No,
that's
that's
the
okay.
day that I really felt the difference and not caring about coffee. I didn't even make a cup of coffee. It was like after lunch, I was like, huh, I haven't had a coffee today. That was the last day that I had coffee, and it's been 3 years. 3 years, I still don't care about it. I don't
Right.
need it.
Isn't that crazy? Now,
Yeah.
listen, if you're watching, you're like, well, I love my coffee and I like something warm in the morning. And I know it. Like, you guys are going into cold months if you don't live in Florida. So, like, we get it. And so for me, I actually wake up every morning. And when we're talking about the 3 simple steps, it's you wake up in the morning, you take a capsule on an empty stomach with a full glass of water. You wait 20 to 40 minutes later and you take our lifestyle mix. We have vegan shakes, which are, for me is amazing because I'm vegan. So we have chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. And then we also have ones that are non-vegan because they have a little bit of whey protein in them. So we have salted caramel, fudge brownie, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, apple pie, and candy cane. So there's lots of choices. Which ones do you drink, Ashley?
Apple pie all the way. Apple
Apple
pie and some
pie.
vanilla with a little bit of pumpkin spice.
Oh yeah, I know. And then we put on our DFT. So I'm wearing the 10-year anniversary one that they just came out with. Ashley's wearing the white label, which I wear that, but in black. Usually, it was actually the one that my oncologist recommended for me when I was going through chemo, even because it helped me so much with my mood support. It has GABA, 5-HTP, which is great for mood support, and B12 vitamins. And the reason I'm sharing this because these are our 3 steps. It doesn't mean you still can't have your cup of coffee. I usually tell people try to go with decaf because you don't want to have that crash from the caffeine because Thrive doesn't give you a crash. It's all day sustainable energy. So at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you feel just as good as you did at 7 a.m. And so we don't give that crash feeling. It doesn't increase your blood sugar or make it drop, like all the stuff that we add into our coffee can do and the caffeine from our coffee can do. So that's why I say that. But I have a lot of people also who've done what I've done and they've taken that feeling of feeling better in the morning. Yeah, I still want something warm, so I'm going to do something that's better for me. So for me personally in the morning, I actually do, after I do step one, in between step one and step two, I actually drink warm water with a little bit of apple cider vinegar and a half of a lemon. And I look forward to it every morning, just as much as I look forward to this. So there are other things that you can do. You can do tea. You can do, I have friends that do matcha tea every single morning. They love it. And so there's lots of other options too. If you are like, I just need that warmth, at least in the winter. And in the summer, like who needs something hot in the summer? Nobody does, no matter where you live, right? Maybe Alaska, that's it. So, okay. So now you're on day 4. And what were you saying to like Cliff and starting to tell other people about it?
I remember calling Cliff. I literally just called him up that night and I said, Cliff, I think I'm thriving. Like, I think this is what you've been telling me about. I'm so sorry I ghosted you. I love how I feel. And he asked me a very important question. He said, well, do you know anybody else that could use that? Like, he was so happy for me, I could tell, but I'm glad that he asked me that because and my initial thought was like, nah, I don't know that many people, but like when I stopped to think about it, everyone I knew could use it. The people in the line at Starbucks, the baristas, all my coworkers, all my family, all my friends, like people that I see, I'm like, why wouldn't others need it? And
Right.
so he encouraged me to like just share just those 4 days of stories with people. And so I did. I just started calling people, started messaging people. I started like posting more and it was really cool to see the difference, the shift, because I wasn't really on social. I didn't do stories, I didn't do lives, but like when you feel good, it's like you want to reach out and like grab people and just shake them and say, you need this in your life.
Yeah, you could feel better.
Yes, yes.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. Well, I don't know if you saw this today, Ashley, but I put up a post this morning for Veterans Day. And I just asked people if they would tag somebody who's in the active military or is retired or is in the reserves and just tag them and tell them thank you and maybe even say something about why they deserve to get a special gift from me. And then I was going to pick one lucky winner. I said I would wait till Monday to pick the winner. That way we have all weekend for people to tag people and do that. So if you're watching this video and you were thinking about people that are currently in the military or retired or in the reserves, I want you to tag them on my post, but also share this video with them and feel free to hit the share button. You can share it however you want to. If you know Ashley personally, reach out to her, ask her. I'm sure she'd be willing to give you a sample. She loves helping people to feel as good as she does. I'm the exact same way. I'm like sample fairy. I will throw them and pass them out to anybody because I truly believe in this product. I will say this. If I had started on a sample, I might not still be thriving 8 years later because I didn't really feel anything until day 4. And a sample is only 3 days. So a sample is just so you can see how simple and easy it is to implement into that everyday routine of yours and see how you do with it. But to really get results, you want to get on a full 30-day supply. So you might have somebody in your life that is, like we said, currently in the military, is in reserves, or is in active duty, or is retired, and they deserve to feel good. And a lot of times, people that do lots of physical labor and are in environments like this, their body's worn out. They're exhausted. Their mental clarity isn't good. Their energy isn't great. Their body has aches and discomforts. They're not sleeping great at night. Maybe they're having a little bit of PTSD or something that's happening with them from whatever they've gone through. And we have an amazing solution that's non-GMO, gluten-free, plant-based, and we want to get it in their hands. hands. So please don't let cost or anything else stop somebody from reaching out and getting more information. And go tag them on my post. Maybe they'll win a full month of the Thrive experience. That'd be so amazing for somebody, or maybe even just be gifted a sample. But we want to make sure we get this out to as many people as possible. Ashley, anything else you want to share with people watching today?
Yeah, just a couple of things. One is it's been 3 years, guys, since I made that decision. And so 3 years of fueling my body and giving myself the best. And I've learned so much about my health and things to incorporate to make it even better. And one of them is eating healthy. One of them is working out, being an active participant in my kid's life, no longer taking, naps out of necessity. And I've lost 35 pounds, and I'm focusing on like weight training and strength training. It's really cool because I have the energy and the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
And so I would challenge you guys that are watching this, what if you had more bandwidth, like 10% more bandwidth? What would that do for you? What could you accomplish? And then the last thing I want to add is when you feel good and you start telling people, people are going to want this for themselves too. And so I just started naturally just telling my authentic story to people. And within 2 weeks, I had two friends. And the company has something really fantastic where if you get your Thrive, you get two friends thriving with you, you get yours for free. So the last time I purchased my Thrive was October 15th of 2019, and it comes to my doorstep monthly for actually me and my husband. We do this together, and he was also in the Air Force. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, guys. You're talking about Christmas coming up. Go ahead and order your Christmas present for you and your significant other. Like, this is the thing, I'm telling you.
I love that you said that because our marriage got so much better after we both started on Thrive, right? Like my husband, actually, I wasn't even going to tell him I was on Thrive. I was so embarrassed because I had this whole cabinet in our kitchen full of detoxes and cleanses and vitamins, and I never remembered to take them. And when I started on Thrive, I didn't even tell him because I was kind of embarrassed. And by Saturday, he was like, "What in the world have you been doing this week? Like, you are so on fire. You have been at workout every day. You've been cooking dinner every night. You haven't been yelling at the kids. You've like actually stayed up and had conversations with me at night. Like, what's up?" And so he was my first customer. So I love that you said that. And there was also something really important that Ashley said. Well, two things. One is, will you drop your photo, your before and after photo, Ashley, in the comments below? Because it's so incredible. And we actually, Thrive is not made for weight loss. We call it weight management. And the reason we say that is because the 3 simple steps are made to help you reduce inflammation in your body. When you reduce inflammation in your body, then your gut starts working properly and people will naturally start to lose some of the weight that they need to lose. But then, yes, you need to do the things that are important, like exercising and eating right. But that happens because you feel better. So I always say to people, those first 3 days, I didn't feel much, but I did notice I wanted water and I wanted fruits and vegetables, which was weird because back then I was only eating like carbs and crap all the time, right? So it was like, oh, that's interesting. It's because my body started working properly. But we do have a product that's coming out in January that is specifically, and we already have a pre-sign up VIP list. So if you want more information about that, just drop King or Elite below and we'll make sure we get you the information so you're ready when it comes out. And that one will be geared more specifically for weight loss. So Ashley's already lost 30 something pounds on Thrive. Can you imagine when she gets on Elite how her body's going to start burning fat even more? So it's exciting. And also, I love that she brought up that she works out now. She has the energy to do that. She's eating right. And I get to see it because I get to go on trips with Ashley. And like just seeing how much you have grown and changed in the last 3 years, Ashley, is so incredible to me. And you've really taken that extra energy, feeling better, mental clarity, all that stuff, and you've made yourself a better human. And that to me is like one of my favorite parts about this Thrive experience is that when you feel better, you can show up better for your family, for yourself, for your life, right? And that's really hard to do when you're not feeling great. Like when you're really just going through life like a zombie or a mombie, if you guys heard that term before, it's very hard to show up for yourself when you're literally just trying to get through the day and get to bed, right? So Ashley, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to share with the community out there. And you guys, please go tag somebody under this, but please go tag somebody and shout them out on my veteran post as well, whether they're active, veteran, or in reserves. We want to shout them out. We want to celebrate them. And Ashley, thank you for your service, for the years that you were in, and for all the people that I know you continue to help in that line of work. So thank you so much. And bye, guys. Have a great day. Make it a great day for others.
Thank you, Blair. Bye, guys.